Hello. It's me. Okay. I can see there are 2 viewers, Emily, so I presume Crispy's just not on. Okay. Righty. So, this stream is a little bit different from... Oh, sorry, cat. Yeah. This stream is a little bit different from the normal session streams I do, because one of my group, one of the players, has some assignment work needs to get done, and won't be able to make it for the usual session. So I've spoken to him about it, and he's agreed it'd be a cool thing to do, to have a... So I do a main session on Tuesday, and then I do a sort of a one-to-one session with him on Friday. My question is, if we want to go for the session on Friday, this almost one-shot based sort of thing, which will require quite a lot of preparation, or we sort of continue with the story as it is. I need to do both, but I'm going to do one of them sort of by myself during a lunchtime, probably. So I'll give you a little update of what the story was last time. So last time, the party was set upon going to a planet called Castron, when they were intercepted by a group of space pirates. These space pirates were little kobolds, these little lizard folks, and chat sort of named them. We had Bloopy, Charles, Lucia, who was actually an elf, Cheese, Meteor, Rock. In the actual session themselves, the party went through, yes, Cheese, made pretty quick work of the kobolds. However, at the end of the session, were set upon by the Castronian military, this big military organization for the planet they're trying to go to. That's all good. I look forward to it. And they have currently been stunned, and they are going to wake up somewhere. Now I'm thinking probably a prison, and I'm also thinking it's under the guise that the Castronian military thinks that they are part of the pirates rather than their actual agenda, because I think that might be interesting. Because with their actual agenda, they would immediately go to high security, whereas with pirates, they've got a bit more leeway to break out. So they could meet other smugglers and that sort of thing in prison and get out that way. So need to figure that out. Alternatively, the one shot on the Friday is with guy who plays Faris Moonbrook, this guy who's got this deity, Iris, in his head, and I'm kind of thinking that this is happening whilst he's unconscious. So in the main session, he'll just be unconscious, and they just sort of need to drag his body around with them. And whilst he's unconscious, he then goes through this almost vision of part of the history of what Iris has actually seen. So we sort of have a deeper connection between the two people, Faris and Iris. So the Iris one, I need to basically figure out what is her backstory. Where is she from? I know she's from quite a regal, in my head, from like quite a regal, almost like a Mount Olympus, or is it Wonder Woman Diana sort of hidden island-esque sort of thing, with warriors and the like. Need to figure out which one I want to do. Does chat have any thoughts on which one I should do? Got the option between prison or build a world for a deity. It's very much up to you, because I need to do both of them. Another world. Yeah. Yeah, we can totally do that. I don't know where Dino is either. It's alright. I appreciate that this is not like one of my Minecraft streams where you can sort of just jump in at any moment. It requires understanding quite a lot of lore. So I appreciate it's not the easiest thing to consume, but it's also just a chance to chill, hang out, and get some work done that I need to do. Dinosaur, the other one. So Dino wants the... Okay. So Dino wants prison. Is that what I'm hearing? Prison or other world? Okay. So we're 50-50. So I am going to toss a coin. Give me a second. Oh, actually, no. This is D&D. I'll roll the dice. Yep. Other world. Gonna do another world. It will still be cool, no matter. Sorry, Dino. It'll be fine. Okay. So in that case, I need to name this right. So this will be done on the 12th. 12th the 3rd, 21. And this is a one-shot with Faris. So, there you go. There is no last time section. Or I guess it's being knocked unconscious, but I think that should be fine. So, we need some characters. So, is Faris going to play as Faris, sort of overlooking the situation? Or is he going to play as Iris? Or a friend of Iris's? Or what we thinking? You don't know. Okay, fair enough. Playing as Iris. Okay. Yeah. Oh no, first option. So sort of observing everything. Okay. So what I'll do is, he'll play as Iris. But it's almost like he's in the back of her mind, watching her thoughts. That sort of vision, because normally when Iris takes over and sort of takes control, he's sitting at the back of his mind watching. So it's the same sort of look that fits canonically, which is pretty neat. Okay. So we'll design the world first, and then we'll figure out what happens, why. Cool. And why Iris has sort of become this almost manic creature. So it might be when this when her mind was corrupted for the first time. So in terms of NPCs, obviously Iris. not quite Sakat, but I mean, we could have the planet corrupted, so it's like this black ooze rot sort of thing, corrupting spirits. So it's like the planet is this almost utopia, and then yeah. So it's like a utopia which is then corrupted. So that would mean that would explain why there, so, like that explains why she is as she is, and could also mean that she fights some of her close friends. So we're kind of hello. I'm going to butcher that name. Dr. Triphonius? Is that it? Doing some world building. We're building a Triphonius. Awesome. Doing some world building an almost utopia sort of thing for where a deity is going to live for a one shot for one of the characters, sort of explaining her backstory. In the actual main campaign, she is somewhat corrupted. She's very mischievous, and we kind of need to figure out why she is as she is, because I've not actually put much thought into where she comes from. So we need the name of the place she's from, NPCs, like who her parents are, her mother. Does she have a rough childhood? I'm sort of imagining that she was up to a lot of mischief when she was younger. Yeah. Well, it's all right because it's we're not playing it, just session prep. So it's just cool ideas. It's just cool ideas. Yeah. Just thoughts on things. And this is only going to be played with a single player who can't make it to the normal session. So we need a mother. Potentially a father. Probably need a best friend. we're going to need, in terms of locations, we're going to need her sort of, like where she's from. So, Iris's home. Iris's home, probably where she played when she was young. It's almost like her, not necessarily, I don't know what to call it, her hangout sort of place. Don't feel obligated to join Dino, it's absolutely fine. Yeah. So I'm currently thinking that her home is almost this sort of majestic palace type place, with almost like a throne room overlooking some sort of natural wonder or something like that. Sounds pretty cool. Natural wonder. I'm sort of imagining like it almost starts with, because Iris in the campaign has kind of been seen as this big, powerful deity, and I kind of want her to be almost like she's being treated like a child. So it's almost like, Iris, come get your food, or something like that. It's that sort of it's that sort of vibes. Sort of showing that, yes, although she is now this big corrupting character, she once had a very yeah. So encounters, we need to meet Iris's mum. Mother. Need to figure out what deity she is going to be. So suggestions on who she is would be good. Potentially father as well. Need a best friend. I'm also going to put a character called Lady Roma, who is a person from the main campaign. She's this almost deity of planar magic. Her whole thing is she can have a cat. Of course she can have a cat. She can have a big cat. Magic cat. Yeah, why not? Is that like her best friend? Her best friend is a big magic cat. Yeah? Cool. We need a name for Big Magic Cat, or we could just call it Big Magic, or we could just call it Big Cat, or we could call it we need a name for the magic cat. She needs to be referenced somewhat. Loony. The deity Iris has got a big magic cat called Loony. I mean, that kind of fits in the narrative of making her come off as a charming sort of young child, I guess. Could have that. And then during an encounter where things start going wrong, this works actually, because the character normally has a beast companion. So his beast companion is an owlbear, which is this big hybrid between an owl and a bear. So he could play it like she has this beast companion. And I kind of like Looney is a cool cool name. Yeah, big magic cat. Jasmine. Or maybe we could have a friend of Iris's be Jasmine. Like that's like her childhood friend that she gets up to loads of mischief with. Not that. Oh, not quite. I'll spell it in a bit. Yeah. So maybe that's it potentially. Like, it's so maybe she goes off and goes on like almost like a mini adventure, which is not even really an adventure. It's like going to a secret part of a garden and trying to pick a rare flower or something like that. And then when she comes back, like the world is in chaos. It's that sort of vibe. Quite like the idea of her sort of running off somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, and it's the sort of thing that if she was to get like I'm quite digging the magic flower thing. Because again, it's got that childhood innocence to it. So she runs off with Jasmine. It's all good. Iris runs off with Jasmine, and maybe Jasmine dares her to do something. Or there needs to be a reason why all of a sudden this big overarching corruption occurs. So maybe potentially she actually with the flower thing, it's like that is kind of like the seed. And no. Boom. There you go. That was easy. Cool. So pick this flower, which is like, and when she picks it, she doesn't think it's going to be a big thing. She's been warned off it by her mother. But of it, Like it's almost like it's the source of the magic for their world. And when she picks it, it's like the sky darkens and got this almost green lightning, weird things start happening. How about that? Oh, and obviously, because this is my sort of thing, Jasmine has to die. And that can be a traumatic experience. And it's like, okay, all good. Yeah, Jasmine dies, and that's a traumatic part of the story. And it's this little girl has got her ideas of the world has now been shattered. I mean, potentially. Not a cat, but I mean, if she does trip, then maybe it's like her. Oh yeah, what if it is quite literally she trips and she gets corrupted, and then there is that could be cool. That could be like the final boss fight almost. Is between Jasmine, like her friend, versus Iris, and in the end, Iris ends up killing her. That's pretty cool. We could literally have scrapes her ankle. And so she scrapes her ankle, she gets touched by the thing, she then gets corrupted, and then because it's a cool idea. D&D is brilliant in the fact that you can have dumb ideas and they can turn into really awesome plot points. Like, anything can happen. That's one of the reasons I love the game so much. And it's a really cool sort of ending of Iris versus Jasmine. It's a really cool encounter. Her up. So she gets called in. Kills for something. Iris has got to resist picking the flower somewhat. Like, Iris, yeah. Flower gets picked. Dark clouds, green lightning. And everything just sort of blackens over. And this almost creeping sort of ooze thing. Sweet. Okay. Talking evil clouds. Probably not talking evil clouds, but I mean, she could definitely start hearing voices. Right at the end, and that's kind of... Oh, no. No. Ah, I'm really sorry. Talking evil clouds just got you. Oh god. Yeah. Flowers gets picked, Jasmine gets corrupted, and then she's got to touch the... at some point, and that's the end of the session. That's pretty neat. Okay. Okay, so Iris runs off. Okay, so maybe we need a bit more about this this flower, sort of this garden, this utopian garden. And this is where so it's got a sort of a restricted area which has got the flower in it, and this is like the most beautiful Nope. Nope. Can say. Sort of the most beautiful part of the garden. There's almost we could do some really cool stuff in terms of visuals here. So could have stuff where it's like what's it called? Like bioluminescence. It's about wrong, and it doesn't know what to do. No, don't do that. So it's got this sort like almost like a soft blue glow to it. Which, I mean, soft blue glow, I mean, just screams magic. There we go. Huh. So, that's one of the places. We need Iris's hangout. Where does this little child... Glowing people, yeah, exactly. So this hangout has... It needs to be the sort of thing where, like, it's what a child would consider to be a really cool place to hang out, like climbing a tree or something like that. I mean, Iris is essentially, like, one of her things is she's a bit of she's kind of a druid, so she would have that sort of The cat can fly and glow. I mean, potentially. I mean, we could have a bit where, again, this is visuals, but it's like, to get places, you can jump from cloud to cloud. It's almost like, up, almost like a heaven sort of esque, thing. I mean, so potentially the cat could fly, or at least jump quite high. I'm thinking, I think that's pretty cool. We could have, so like, I mean, that could be a hangout. It's like this cool place where, like, Iris goes, because we kind of want to show that she's a bit of a daredevil. So maybe she goes to the top of a massive sort of, obviously magical tree, jumps off it, and it's almost like a trampoline at the bottom. Are these clouds which she sort of bounces off? About that sort of thing. It's pretty cool. I mean, also, like, I mean, yeah. I mean, I would find that cool. I'd want to hang out there. Like a, so it's, clouds on the floor, almost, I guess. And then there's a, this big, like, oak tree, or like a big, just a massive, magic tree. Big, big magic tree. Jumps off, onto clouds. Pretty sweet. No. It's a big magic tree. Not just a big tree. It's a big magic tree which this little child goes to the top of. She jumps off and she lands on a bunch of soft clouds, which sort of bounces her up again. And that's the thing that she goes and does that. It's a pretty cool. Because big tree, yes. That's pretty neat. Oh, Faris, what's Faris want? Yep. That sounds about right. Cool. Thinking back to the stuff about the mother and father. So mother is obviously going to be this big deity-esque, well, I guess, deity person, this goddess, essentially. She just sort of wants the best for her child. And she's almost, and she's like angelic. But I believe it's, is it National Women's Day or something like that? Is it Women's Day? Because I'm not opposed to having some pretty badass yeah. International Women's Day. I'm not opposed to having some really badass like women in this, especially if she's a deity. I mean, she could have some serious, like, it's like, oh, she's really calm and, oh, be careful, children, and then like she turns around and just smites them. just She just has the ability to smite stuff and is very powerful, very strong. That would be pretty sick. Is what I'm thinking. Goddess, angelic, and a big badass. I mean, that's awesome. Okay, wants the best for a child. And she will obviously protect. She will protect her baby at all costs. So maybe potentially... but a succubus. Not quite. I don't think succubus, what, I don't know, succubi, I guess, would be powerful enough to actually I just thought about it from a okay. Father is absent, I'm going to say. She's grown up without a father. She's been absent most of her life. She just knows of Iris's life. And like she knows of him, but not but she's never actually really met him. Like she's met him once when she was really young. So we've got that almost estranged relationship, which further down the line we can sort of play with a bit. I mean, we could get Dad back into the picture. Yeah. It's off fighting some sort of war. Yeah, it's cool. Maybe that's against the big bad evil guy, Hadar. Okay, I need more details about this big magic cat. I'm gonna say it doesn't fly, but it can jump far. But what does big magic cat look like? Big magic cat. Is it like a lion? Is it It's really friendly. It's really friendly, but again, yeah, it's got almost I mean, it's a deity's pet. It's going to be cool. Rufar, really friendly, but will mess you up. Yeah, it can move fast. Yeah. Or maybe it's like almost like a baby lion. What do baby lions look like? Tabby cats. Cub. Yeah, yeah. it could be a yeah, so it could be almost like it's a cross between a lion and a tabby. I think I could figure it out from that. I could come up with a description. I mean, that's pretty cool. So cross between a tabby and a lion. Big magic cat. Jumps fast. Jumps far, moves fast, really friendly, but will mess you up. Awesome. Jasmine, best friend, and also very powerful deity person. What does she look like? Is she fey? Is she like slightly demonic? Is she... I mean, she's mischievous. So maybe it's almost like this, almost like an angel and a demon-esque sort of thing. And that's her friend. Maybe Jasmine's from the other place. We don't actually mention what the other place is, but Jasmine is from the other place. Like they sneak off together and are friends. But they should be enemies. It's like that. And again, that sort of emphasizes that childhood innocence of this Iris character. What about that? She's almost demonic. Maybe she's got... let's think. What does she look like? So, demonic... like purple... purple horns. And... it could... She speaks... yeah, and she's always like... She always sounds like she's up to no good. Good. Could be. Give me a second. Right. I didn't have the lights on in my room and it was dark. Okay. Cool. So she's almost demonic. Childhood friend gets up to mischief. This character, I've already fleshed her out. So she'll be fine. She'll just sort of be... She's just referenced in it. The fact that they know each other. Okay. Kind of need the name of where she's from. Is there like a deity, like the place where deities are from? Is there a cool name? Is there a place with a place where gods live? Yeah. Asgard. It could be Asgard. That would explain why yeah, like a grand city in the clouds. Yeah. That's pretty cool. It could just be Asgard. I'm going to call it Asgard, and then if any of you have any suggestions of better names, let me know. That somewhat ties in. Okay. So, building more on the story. So, we start off with our character, Faris, who is going to sort of be playing Iris, essentially. Opening his eyes, and he is in the middle of the throne room, and he's just been asked a question that he doesn't know the answer to. I think that's awkward enough that so that's almost like waking up. He's just been asked a question, like when you're in class and you're like, and from experience, if it's a scientific question, you're screwed. Yeah. So wakes up, has this, has just been asked a question by this, from Faris's perspective, this quite imposing, beautifully elegant woman, who for some reason he has a recollection is his mother. I guess we don't even have to look at who Iris's mother is. We can literally just call her mum. So just refers to mother and father, or mum and dad. Okay. So we have a bit of RP where he kind of, establish where he is, and at that point, we kind of need to introduce the fact she's mischievous, so maybe she's sent to her room, and then she climbs out of her window and goes off to be with her friend. That gives us something to play with. Introduces Iris nicely. So, sent to room, escapes, essentially. That will be whatever it is. That's vague enough. I can think of things. That way we can do, in terms of gameplay mechanics, we can start like doing some checks. So, does she fall? Does she, like, is she very elegant, like going out of the window? Or that sort of starts introducing and gives this something else. So Iris runs off, and we can sort of dip in and out of the player having the ability to sort of control Iris. It's almost like he's got a certain amount of free will, but he can't go miles off. And if he does start going miles off, I can basically just say, you try that, but it doesn't work. It's almost like you're on a set path. And at that point, it's like, oh, okay, I guess my player is good enough that he'll vibe to that. This player, not all my players are that good. So runs off. So at that point, we need to. Oh, and potentially this is where, in her room is Big Magic Cat. what's her name? Looney. And at that point, she's gonna run off and see her friend. So, at that point, it's almost like a setting the scene of this utopia, and that's all sort of down to me describing it with the clouds and the buildings and the guards sort of showing that there is a military presence here, but everything is pretty relaxed. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So that's just setting the scene. So then we need to meet Jasmine. Oh, she could be like an archfiend. Yeah, she could be like she's almost like a... Is it an archfiend? Am I getting that right? Fiend. Yeah, like a devil sort of esque sort of person. But she's really cool. Like, she's got that same naivety, but it's more up for causing chaos. Yeah, she's an archfiend. Okay, cool. So, meets Jasmine. So, we're going to need to obviously introduce Jasmine. Jasmine. And Iris has sort of got this, almost like the childhood sort of, like, false confidence. Like, Jasmine's talking about, like, oh, where have you been? Oh, I've just been told off by my mum, and now, but I escaped. I'm really cool. That sort of vibe. Yeah, because Iris is trying to be cool, but Jasmine kind of is cool. Okay. So at that point, so introduces Jasmine. Iris then runs off with Jasmine. Maybe we go through a series of short tests where yeah, goes through a series of short tests, so it's almost like it's that build up of dares that eventually makes her do this almost unthinkable thing. Like, I mean, as an adult looking back on it. So number of dares. And that can be stuff like that could be like stealing keys. Yeah, that's it. So maybe this magic sort of flower is surrounded by gates and guards, but with Jasmine's help, Jasmine distracts the guards. Iris then takes the keys, and then they can access this place. So maybe that's it. It's like those first two things. So something else. So something. And then there is we steal the keys. Garden with the flower. And then it goes into being dared to pick the flower. She resists. Jasmine calls her names. She then does that. And then from there, like, immediately everything is not okay. Everything is immediately not okay at that point. It's an immediate reaction. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So maybe they are fighting together side by side. Jasmine and Iris are fighting together. And then there is the moment where where Jasmine gets corrupted. And then there is like almost like the big boss fight, which is between Jasmine and Iris gets badly messed up, but does still win. And that's where we would then sort of like, as like, I mean, cinematically, it's like the vision fades to black, and Faris is now sitting in either a prison cell or wherever the party ends up from the main campaign. That feels like that's enough that in like a 3-hour session could do some pretty cool stuff there. Let's just add that fighting bit. We can foreshadow as well, where like they're fighting fighting corrupted friends. And this can be random. So this could just be as simple as guards. It could be like maybe it's one of her teachers. And like so almost like demigods, basically. They're fighting demigods. And at that point, so nowhere near as powerful as Iris, just even as a child, fighting demigods, and then there is this moment where like there's like hope in sight, and then it's completely dashed, with Jasmine getting corrupted. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Is there anything that chat thinks that I should add? Any little things? Okay. Very pog. Yeah. I think Asgard works as well. I need to build up some character sheets for Iris, but I can do that. I think there's some good visuals in there as well. Let's flip that round because that's probably a bit more important. Yeah. Cool. Up to mischief. Cool. All right. So, at this point, I think that session's done. I've got enough there that I can play with it and still get stuff done. We need a name. We need like an episode title. I guess it could be It's not going to be called that, Crispy. I know that's probably not what you meant, but it's not going to be named that. It's just XD. Lol. Child dead. It doesn't quite work. Yeah. Sweet. I'll just call it the Tale of Iris. I think that works quite well. Cool. No problems, no problems. Yeah. I think I'm going to leave that there. I think that's enough. Yeah, I'm going to get myself some food. And finish the stream there. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I stream on... I'm trying to stream on both Monday and Wednesday. Monday's D&D stuff, Wednesday's AMA and Minecraft chill stuff. So stick around for that. And although I don't like saying it, if you haven't followed, please do. It's free, and it sort of gives me motivation to keep doing this sort of thing. Yeah. Farewell.